Welcome to the Super Clinic Project Podcast Coach's Corner Edition. Ready to boost your practice by 10,000 in just 10 minutes? Join your coaches, Jennifer and Tracy, for fast and proven strategies that drive real results. Let's get started.
Welcome to the Super Clinic Project Podcast, where we take regular clinic owners and we turn them into super clinic owners. Today, you're here with me, Jennifer Gligoric and Tracey Sundkvist, our neuroscience expert and fellow business consultant and coach. This is our Coach's Corner, and we're going to help you get $10,000 and your business in 10 minutes. Today's topic is accountability in leadership for yourself. To get what you want, change how you lead. Tracey, start us off.
Oh my goodness, when it comes to leadership, it is such a loaded subject. If you do a simple Google search, there's something like 3 billion Google searches on leadership every single day. Now, there's a reason why it's so important, but I think we've also made it too theoretical. So I think what we want to really dig into today is, what is the practical aspect? What does this mean? What do you do as a leader, and how do you change that? How do you know what to change?
I think the biggest thing for leaders is consistency with yourself. And we're going to talk about more consistency in our next Coach's Corner. But one of the things are, what are the values that you yourself subscribe to, right? And how are you acting out on those values? Actions are greater than intentions. So how are your actions showing yourself and even your team that these are the values that you subscribe to, and this is what the company's values are? So the biggest thing is, at the very beginning, what's your purpose and what's your promise for your company? Like, what is that company's role in the world that it's doing? We're going to provide beautiful color to the world, right? Okay, great. And we want to make the world a non-toxic but colorful place because we are the best paint store in Schenectady, right? I'm just throwing something out there. Great. Okay, and then what are those internal values, right? Well, we are eco-conscious, we're this, we're that. And but if you roll up to this eco-conscious thing, in a Hummer, and you're blowing coal at people, you're getting out, and obviously that would be a disconnect. So being a leader means you're not a hypocrite in your own company, and sometimes that can be difficult. But Tracy, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I love that, but I have seen so much pushback on that. What's that? They call her the doom goblin, Greta Thunberg of activism, right? But she goes there in jets, and I think this is exactly. It's about integrity. It's about saying, this is what I'm going to be about, but I walk my talk, and that is massively missing. I mean, I can say it's massively missing because I've identified it for myself as well, because sometimes I want to position in a certain way, and then I need to bring it back and say, well, am I doing that? Is that something that is actively a value, or does it just sound good? Because when it just sounds good, you cannot pull that off. You cannot pull that off because your behavior is not going to align with that value. Your behavior is going to go against it, and people can see that. Your team will see it. Your family will see it. Your customers will see it. So, I mean, if you are going to be profit centric and just I want to be the most expensive in any space, well, then nothing wrong with that. Learn the language of value and position at premium, but don't BS by putting in all of these like fancy and nice sounding stuff when actually it's just about the bottom line. It's integrity. Know what is driving you and fully own that, whether it's good, bad, ugly, it doesn't matter, because you're going to have a better time and everyone else is going to have a better time when you're consistent and you acting with integrity.
Yeah, absolutely. When you think about just the act of being who you say you are, think about the companies who aren't and the pushbacks they get and how difficult they have it, and then companies that are. And you'll notice that there are companies that are like, we believe in guns, we believe in shooting things, we believe in this, and they act it, they live it, and guess what? They're very profitable and they're happy doing what they're doing. Even if you're against all of that, that's fine. But with anything that you can think of, any sort of value set, there is, even if ones you do not align with or agree with, there is a company that has dug in to their values, what they believe in, what they think is making the world a great place, and they're crushing it, right? So it's not about this, oh, it's so touchy feely, I'm a really good person, all that. I mean, it's partly that, but at the end of the day, when you center into your divine purpose and responsibility on the planet, like what are you really here to be and do? Is that what you're actually doing all day long, right? There's a reason there's that quote, Doctor, heal thyself, because it is so hard to do. We are very much don't do as I do as I say, right? You just picture the parent that has their, cigarette in their mouth going, you should never smoke like me. It's just going to ruin your lungs. And then they're smoking three packs a day, right? That was very prevalent when I was growing up. You don't really see that anymore. We see it in different ways, right? And there are ways in our business life that we do that as well. I want to promote work-life balance. When's the last time you as a small business owner took a vacation? If you just gave me a deer in the headlights, said, well, I can't afford to, but all my staff do, you're not really doing as you do and do as you say, are you? You haven't built something that can do that, or you're not allowing that, or you're letting fear do that, because you should be able to go. And if you have staff that go out, then why aren't they supporting you when you need to leave? What's up with that? That's not a good value set. They should be coming to you going, you haven't taken a vacation in a year. Are you going to ever take a day off? John and Bob and I can handle it.
It's so funny you speak about that, Jennifer, because I think of this when I was first learning how to be a coach. I watched coaching sessions between very senior executives in like multinational organizations and top tier coaches. And the one was this business owner came and he said, well, he wants to exit the business. He does not want to play any kind of operational role. He needs to have the next level of leadership completely take over. He needs the next level of leadership to now run, manage, maintain the business. And the problem that he had was that he said, but they do not communicate. And I cannot leave this thing until they can communicate. And the first thing that the coach said was, okay, so have you told him this? You talk about that deer in the headlights look. It was like, no. So yeah, doctor, heal thyself. Absolutely.
Yes, we have to speak words. Words are power. I mean, it's not just, it's biblical. Words are power. It just in inspirational quotes. You think of the famous leaders, generals, Socrates, famous thinkers throughout all of human history. Words have power. So when you speak it out, I think the fear of that is when you speak it out, you are committing to that. You're committing to that out into the universe. Don't be afraid to speak that out. And don't be afraid to ask yourself the question, well, how would they know that? Have you told them that? Is that written anywhere? Do they know that that's the goal? Yeah. So leaders need to lead ourselves. We're getting to our end. Tracey, do you have anything you want to wrap us up in this 2-minute wind down?
For leadership, for me, is always comes down to two things. It's you as a leadership in your life, in your space, in your being, and then of course your leadership role within the team, which is the next one that we're going to cover. But it doesn't take much for you to show up with authenticity for yourself, and as soon as you can start to do that, things become a lot easier. So it's more than just what you get out of it. It's also about the lived experience. So yeah.
Once you align your business with how you actually feel inside, even if it means making big shifts in what you're doing, I'm going to tell you, you're going to feel better. Your business is going to be more profitable. You'll be able to attract the staff that get you and get the business's goal. It really is a monumental shift in your thoughts and where the direction of your business is going to go. It may not seem like it. I know it seems, weird, especially if you're just, well, I'm just in this to make money, but I really just want to be home with my kids. Okay, but there is a way to bridge that gap. there's usually a way to bridge that gap or to make a pivot or to even do something new that's more in line with what your true goals are for that. So guys, it's the end of our 10 minutes. I hope you had a lot of good takeaways so you can go back and be that authentic leader that you want to be, and you can really dig into what your divine purpose is and your responsibility in your life. Do not forget to like, follow, share, and please give us a 5-star review. It's how we're able to keep on doing this with you. Thank you for having us here on Coach's Corner, and hopefully you'll take this and make $10,000 in 10 minutes. Have a great Super Clinic week.
Thank you for listening to the Super Clinic Project Podcast, Coach's Corner Edition. If you would like to work with Jennifer or Tracey to 2 or 10x your business, then go to superclinicproject.com and click on either Jennifer or Tracey's photograph to book a complimentary session. Your greatest breakthrough is just a session away.